So one of the things that I love the most about what I do as a feminist business strategist is that I get to spend so much time talking to people about their businesses and helping women figure out how to create a solid plan for their business that bakes in growth and self-care. These are the two key and critical components to having a successful, sustainable, and profitable business. That is your framework. You, as the business owner, are the greatest asset to your business and need to be treated as such. So I really talk a lot with my clients about self-care, and I really talk a lot with my clients about planning. One of my favorite planning tools is doing a 2-week sprint review. So a sprint review is very much just that opportunity where you look at your 90-day plan. What are the tasks and projects that I've decided I'm going to work on to grow my business? And then how do I break those down into every 2 weeks? The reason why we do a 2-week sprint review is because that is, it's just keeping the feedback loops nice and tight. And part of what that does is allows us to look every 2 weeks at what's working, what's not working, and how do I improve it. So I'm actually going to just show you the sprint review process that I use. I look at what are my goals, my projects that I'm focusing on for the next 90 days, the client work I'm doing, and my daily activities. And then I run this decision engine across the top of it. What do I need to start doing, stop doing, continue doing, do more and do less of? And so I talk to my clients about doing this all the time, but I also walk the walk, and I do this in my own business. And it's really interesting that in the last couple of weeks, a big project that I'm working on in this quarter is I'm writing a book, and it's really exciting and I really love it. And it's really a wonderful process. And I also have a really big project to do with one of my clients. I'm creating a creative entrepreneurship training program, which is developing the curriculum for that, creating workbooks and recording videos. It's a lot of work. And so in my last sprint review, what I was able to do by doing this is really get clear on my focus was too split. Here's what I talk to my clients about. Only work on 1 or 2 big things in your business at a time. And I wasn't following my own advice. And by doing the sprint review, I was able to see that loud and clear, that the client work that I was doing right now is a lot, and it's time bound and it needs to get done. My book, which is my sort of 90-day project over here, my book is also really important to me, but I made that decision that I needed to stop doing it for 2 weeks so that I could focus on the client work. And so as a business coach and strategist, it is funny when your own advice comes back to you. But I also wanted to just say that, I understand that sometimes these are hard things to do. It's hard to make that decision that I'm going to stop doing something that is really important to me and that is something that I believe is going to drive value to my business. However, when I do this review, thinking about that 90 days, what I also realize is actually pausing this for 2 weeks isn't going to make a material difference to what I accomplish in the 90 days. And in fact, because I've allowed myself to have sole focus on the big project that needs to get done, what that does is I am confident that I'm actually going to be able to accomplish that goal that I've set for myself around my book with more ease and more clarity by pausing for 2 weeks than if I didn't. And so I just really want to encourage you to think about running a 2-week sprint review in your business, it allows you to pull back on a regular basis and just make sure that things are running the way that you want them to. And you might be surprised. I really hadn't seen that in my business until I ran this review. And then it became very clear to me what the steps were that I needed to do in order to in order to have the success that I want. So would love to hear from you if you do sprint reviews, and as service providers, have you had those opportunities and experiences yourself when you're like, right, I just have to take my own advice. Anyway, all for now.